So, some good news before the preview. Dan can thank his lucky stars. The camera's been found.
A relief, but I always had confidence that the Villa faithful wouldn't do me over and that someone would be a good egg and return the camera. And obviously, it's big news. People have been really worried about this over the last 24 to 48 hours. I mean, even Dr. Tony looks like he was concerned on Twitter. So, I mean, he'll be relieved. And I'm a relieved man because I don't often make mistakes, but when I do, it's usually a big one.
Hello and welcome back to the Villa View, proudly backed by Ladbrokes. For all your latest odds, make sure you check out that link below in the description. So Dan, we do take on QPR tomorrow evening at Villa Park. What are we expecting?
Hopefully another home win, as we've won our last 4 home games without conceding a goal. I'm expecting us to continue, to be honest. I think QPR will be a difficult game because I think Holloway has got them up for it over the second half of the season, to be fair, and they're looking improved side despite having got rid of probably their perceived better players. They've actually got a better team now and they're working better. I know a few QPR fans and they're happy with the way things are going at the moment. I think we've got a fairly decent record against Ian Holloway, so I think we'll win, but I think it'll be a tougher game than we had the other day.
Yeah, I think they're a decent side. As I mentioned it earlier, Ian Holloway's sides get under people's skin, and he always does that. His comments again pre-match focus around Villa and putting the pressure on us, and he does that really well as a manager. I think that's the best thing about the team, is the way that he will set them up to defend and go at us and aggressive, and I think we've just got to deal with that, to be honest, and actually do something when we've got the ball. And I think we've got more or less take the game to QPR because they're probably quite happy to sit back, and if both teams do sit back, then we're in for a dull game.
Yeah, they've got some handy players. I mean, I don't think we know, it's hard to predict QPR's lineup because he said he's going to heavily rotate. They've got some useful players who are decent in the Championship, like Matt Smith, the big striker, is the kind of player that has caused us problems in the past, so he's decent. I've always liked the look of Connor Washington. I think he runs himself into the ground. He's a good player, a good striker at this level. So they've got different options that they can go with. And I think they've Luke Freeman, who they signed from Stevenage in January. I think he's been in good form as well when he's played. So I think it'll be a tough test, but it's one that if we've got any vague hopes of playoffs, it's one we have to win. And in general at home this season, I know we've only lost twice, so you've got to fancy us every time at home, to be honest, especially the way the results are going for us at the moment.
Yeah, I think the performance-wise at the moment we're doing really well in terms of the way we're playing. We're playing with sort of intensity. I know we've sat back at times, but I think there's still that intensity there when we are going forward. We're committing numbers, and we've seen it with the likes of Albert Adoma pushing forwards and Conor Hourihane, and obviously the main man, Jonathan Codger. We've got a real sort of like asset there of going forwards, and obviously he was the difference last time with his goal, and he ended that voodoo of yours and of ours in terms of winning on Sky.
We put that to bed, so that's good. We've got a good record against QPR actually in recent years, from what I remember. There's 2 games that stand out in my mind. The one where we won 3-2 in Lambert's first season, and then the Tim Sherwood 3-3. So there could actually be goals in this game if previous encounters are anything to go by.
What are you expecting for Villa's lineup tomorrow?
I think it'll be the team that played the majority of the game against Norwich, and I think you'll probably see a similar type of display. I know you said about we're going to have to go for it a bit more. I'm not sure that we will. I don't know whether if QPR are coming there to sit back, then maybe it'll flummox them. If we do the same, it's a shame Hogan probably won't play, because I thought there was the signs of a little bit of a partnership building between him and Codger before he went off injured. But I think he'll just bring Amavi in for Hogan, and the rest of it will stay the same. There's certainly no need to really make any changes at the moment because we're picking up results. It might be slightly tempting to throw Andre Green in on the left, although he had a bit of a nightmare when he came on, to be fair. He wasn't on that long, but he kept giving the ball away. But he was playing very well before he got injured, so it would be nice to see him get more of a run out, because I think he was high on confidence before his injury, and I want to see him play with some of that swagger again, because at the start of the season when he was involved, I know it was difficult for him. He wasn't playing with that same freedom, but although the team isn't playing with much freedom, we're playing very defensively. I think Green, when he's been in the team, he has played with that freedom, so I would like to see him in at some point. I think he's a bit of a wild card for us.
I've actually predicted Scott Hogan will start. I said the same 11 that started. The reason behind that is that I know Steve Bruce did touch on the fact in his post-match press conference from the Norwich game that Scott Hogan was took off as a precaution. I think he needs the minutes. I think he will be there somewhere in the matchday squad. Whether he starts might be a bit of a push, but I think he will do. But I'd like to see him start more than I think he will, to be fair. But I think he will be part of that matchday squad, we hope anyway, because as you mentioned, that partnership was starting to be built up between the two of them.
I think he'll be on the bench. Definitely, I'd say he'll be in the 18. His injury record's a little bit concerning. I know it's early days in his Villa career, but I think he's had some bad injuries in the past in his career. He certainly had one last season or the year before at Brentford, so he has got he's a bit injury prone, so I'm slightly concerned about that if he's starting to pick up knocks. He's obviously already had a relatively big injury in his first few games that he got up at Newcastle, so that's something to keep your eye on, because that worries me slightly, that he does seem to be quite prone to injury.
What are you predicting score-wise for the game?
I'm going to stick with my mentality of going for Villa wins. I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Villa this time. I'm going to go Codger first goal because he keeps scoring first, but the trouble is the times I have put him to score first, he hasn't, so it's a bit of a risky game, me doing that. I'm going to go 2-1 with Codger on the score sheet, and I'm going to go for Hogan again coming on and scoring. About you?
I've gone for a 2-0 win with a Henry Lansbury first goal for the club as the first goal for us.
That's what we need. We were touched on it the other night. We need the midfielders to chip in with goals. I know Horahan's got off the mark, but it would be nice to see Lansbury get off the mark as well. It would be nice to see those two more involved in the game, because they were not through any fault of their own, really, just by virtue of the way the game went. They were slight passengers in the last game. I'd like to see them get more of a stranglehold, but to be honest, I think they're probably only following instruction at the moment, and the shape we've kept in the last few games has been very encouraging. We've been very difficult to break down, and Villa have always had a soft centre over the last few years, so the fact that we don't have that anymore and that core of the team looks very strong straight down the middle, we look a good unit, and that's pleasing.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a lot better, as we've seen with the form of our defence and the clean sheets we've built up as well. Yeah,
I think James Chester deserves an absolute massive amount of praise. I thought he was great on Saturday. He's just always in the right place. Whenever the fullback gets beaten and the cross comes in, the ball seems to automatically go to Chester, and that isn't a coincidence. That's because he puts himself in the right place. He's just been an unbelievable signing for us. A really, really good player that's too good for the Championship, and we're reaping the rewards of that. He's a top player and a top captain for us at the moment.
Thank you for the support over the past week. It's been amazing, really. We've put out a lot of content over the past week, and you guys have enjoyed it, watched it, and that's what matters the most to us, is the fact that you're enjoying what we're doing at the moment, and reading your comments is really important to us as well, and we're trying our best to get back to as many of you as possible as well.
Yeah, really good views over the last week, really pleasing, because we have been trying to put out more stuff, and everything we put out, to be fair, is always pretty well received by people, so I can't thank the subscribers and the people that watch the videos enough.
So fan cams are back after the game tomorrow. Make sure you go and speak to Dan at full time. I'll be lingering as well, but Danny's going to be the one taking your answers from the game. Come and find us our usual spot outside the Hull tent. Come and speak to us. Have your say.
Look for the big light.
Yeah, it's wide, long light. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, then please do drop us that like below, and also comment in your predictions ahead of the game tomorrow evening. And if you are new to the Villa View, subscribe with your post notifications on. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.